every single one of them.
What does it answer if I say that? That is not the question.
Player could be Peyton Manning at 3:15 and Fox at 3:25.
Hi.
TBA most likely Peyton Manning, but 3:15.
Mike, I want to take it back to draft night as far as Jordan Reed. You had said that night that you weren't necessarily looking for a tight end, but he was a value you couldn't pass up. And I want to ask you about, because there's always that dilemma of drafting versus need versus best player on the board. How clearly was he? Was he far and away the best player? And was there pause for you to say, well, do we really need a tight end? And I'm just wondering if you could talk us through the process a little bit from that night, given how well he's played.
When we looked at Jordan, we felt we had a guy that was very special catching the football and very special in and out of breaks. More like a wide receiver than a tight end. But you could not see on film consistently how he blocked. So we weren't really sure if we were getting a polished wide receiver or a tight end. And very quickly we could see that he was a very competitive player, and he's done a good job in both areas.
Dilemma versus need versus best player. How much was the dilemma when it came to Jordan?
Well, we thought he was a special player, and we thought he was, first round talent, but you could not see the blocking ability, and so that's why we took him when we did, and it was based on talent. Haven't heard a thing. No, we're not bracing for him being suspended. No. No, I don't think it'll be.
Mike, when you look back at those hits yesterday, the Meriwether, the personal fouls, what were your thoughts on those?
I'm not going to go into detail on those right now. I've looked at them quite a bit. We got conversations. I can't go into detail on it, but I have talked to a few people, and we'll leave it at that.
How do you guys then? I mean, even if there is some kind of, how do you guys then tell him later after 7 years, this is something you have to do, maybe aim lower, all that kind of stuff?
Well, I think he knows exactly what he has to do. And, sometimes, the intent, there's no intent there. Sometimes you hit a guy a little bit higher than anticipated. I mean, even in the last one, he came to the sideline and says, hey, one guy told me it was a good hit. And the other official told me that he saw it differently. So there's a lot of different interpretations of it. At the end of the day, we'll find out.
Players' reputation, you think, in situations like this come into play? Should every penalty, potential suspension just be based on what happened most recently?
My opinion really doesn't matter here. It's what the league thinks. And so we're going to wait through the due process and see what they say, and we'll go from there.
Like, how difficult will it be for you to prepare for this game with your situation safety? Not with just Brandon's situation, but also with Reed Dowd?
You're just going to have to wait and see. There's not a whole lot you can do about it except prepare the best way you can, and that's what we'll do.
Mike, I know you don't get a lot of time to enjoy these wins because you got to get ready for the next week, but last night after the game, what did that feel for you? What was last night? What was this morning even like for you knowing a victory Monday?
Well, it's always nice to win, and especially the way we did it. We made a lot of mistakes, but we found a way to pull it out in the fourth quarter, and that's what a good football team does. We had some adversity there, but the guys played hard the whole game. Everybody hustling the ball, both on special teams. We flew around. We did a lot of great things with the type of movement that you want. Same thing on defense. And offensively, with that last drive, showed a lot about our guys being able to find a way to win.
What was the most encouraging thing for you yesterday? What makes you smile the most looking back on that game?
Winning. You always like to win.
Any word on Stephen Bowen, his knee?
It's a PCL tear. Right now he's sore. Probably no more in the next couple of days.
Is that the same one he had for Rizzo?
Other knee, yeah.
Going back to what Diana was talking about, and you talk about the adversity, the fact that you guys, every time they seemed to score, you guys came right back and scored. How important is that, and what does that speak to?
Well, what you want to be able to do is, put the ball in the end zone. That's what we're able to do. We scored some touchdowns instead of field goals. We haven't been able to do that consistently early in the season. We want to be able to get some drives going where we got that continuity going. And anytime you have that balance like we did, and anytime you're able to rush for 200 and throw for 300, you have the type of balance that you feel gives you a chance to, get the ball in the end zone. And for the first time this season, we were able to do that.
But I guess I was meaning how important was it to respond immediately each time?
Well, it shows you a lot about our guys that, they wanted to win, and you got to respond. You got to make some plays, and, they did it when it looked like it was some pretty tough situations.
Mike, would you say that was Robert's, best all-around effort, just in terms of everything that he's asked to do, leading the team in those hurry-up, I guess, those 4-minute type offense situations at the end of each second quarter? I
think Robert did a great job. And anytime you score 45 points, you should be excited. But I don't think our guys were. We knew we left a lot on the field as well. So it's encouraging when you're able to score some points and get some yards, both rushing and passing. But you're still not satisfied with your performance. That means you got some guys that have some high expectations and believe in themselves.
In the first 4 games, Robert rushed 18 times for 72 yards. In the last 2 games, 20 times for 161 yards. Not coincidentally, you guys have taken flight. Is there a direct correlation in this offense right now that he needs to be running the ball effectively for you guys to move the ball the way that you guys operate?
Well, I think the threat of the run is very important. Yeah, anytime the defense is afraid you may run the football, they got to cover the whole field and all aspects of your game. So I think anybody that has a threat of running the ball, and you never know who they're going to take away. Sometimes they're going to take away the running back. Sometimes they're going to take away the quarterback. Defenses can do a lot of different things, and we really don't know which direction they're going to go.
Any preliminary word on Reed Dowdy with his concussion?
No, not yet. He'll get tested tomorrow, and then he'll go through the same protocol we did last week with all our players, and he'll be tested every day, and hopefully he'll be fine, ready to go.
Aldrich seems like he's used either as a decoy or as just a deep threat. Are there ways to get him more involved? What are his capabilities, his skill set was?
Yeah, we've got a lot of belief in Aldrich, and he does have some big play capabilities. Yeah, we need to get him in the ball game a little bit more. Pierre's been playing very good as well, so you don't want to take Pierre out of the game too often. But you do want to give him opportunities to make some plays like he did.
But he never is used on the other side, though.
On which side?
On the other receiver position, just basically as Pierre's backup.
Yeah, he's more of an X receiver. Mm-hmm.
Coach, in terms of improving special teams, how do you stop the bleeding?
Well, I think we improved drastically, even though it didn't sound like it because the punt return for a touchdown. But if you watch our kickoff coverage, I think Robinson really helped us, and Hull came in and did a great job. But you can see the sense of urgency on our football team. If you watched all the special teams play-by-play, you saw a team that was playing extremely hard. Not that we can't get better, because we're going against Denver this week. That's great in kickoff return and punt return, ranked 3rd and 4th in the National Football League, and usually they don't go hand in hand. So they got a dual threat, both return games, and we got to be at our best this week as well.
What did go wrong in that punt return? What led?
Well, first thing is we're going to hang the ball up. The first part of our game plan is have a high hang time, so they didn't return. They had a fair catch, and then the other was kicking it out of bounds. Didn't always work out that way as planned. So the first one, or the long punt, we were trying to get that thing out of bounds and made a great play. We lost containment on the one side, and he did the rest.
Mike, obviously when you give up 40-plus on defense, I'm sure you're not thrilled with that. But you get another defensive touchdown. Are you okay with the trade-off there?
Well, you never want to hold a team to 46 yards and all of a sudden they have a breakout second half, especially with their backup quarterback. Not very happy with that. I think we got a little carried away with our pass rush lanes. You get a quarterback that's very mobile that likes to run. They took advantage of a couple opportunities, just scrambling. We kept them in the game. We wanted to play hard, but you got to keep your poise. We had a couple 15-yard penalties in there with a couple of our guys that kept their drives going, or they're off the field. So it's a combination of poise, focus, playing smart. Don't give a football team an extra opportunity. Stay in your rush lane. So those are the things we look at, when you're looking at film.
You guys had a new wrinkle defensively where you had 3 inside linebackers on the field at a time, and at times you'd have 5, 6 guys kind of standing. And a couple of players thought it may have confused Chicago. Didn't know where the blitz was coming from. What did you make of that package and the success that it had? A couple times they had to burn timeouts, I think, when you guys used it.
Yeah, it cost them a couple timeouts. First time we got a sack on it. They had a hard time judging who was who. After that, they did a pretty good job. They picked up all of our blitzes. We beat a couple guys one-on-one, but after the first time, they did a pretty good job of adjusting. But it did burn a couple timeouts, and it did give us a sack early. Not a sack, but quarterback pressure, yeah.
Mike, there's been a lot of talk about the lack of return games, specifically from kickoffs. Just curious, Niles Paul finished up in that area last year. What happened there, and why, I guess, hasn't he been given that full-time opportunity to do that at the beginning of this year?
Well, I think we've talked about that last week. Doesn't matter really who the kickoff return guy is, 11 guys working together. But we've got to get some pretty good kickers. You get that ball up there, hang time, as much as it's been hanging up or out of the end zone, you shouldn't be returning the ball. You get the ball on the 20-yard line with those penalties, you got a pretty good chance. But the couple opportunities we did have, we had one, could have had a fumble. Niles Paul did a good job recovering that ball. And the other time we had a chance to break something, and we just got a little bit caught up. But, hey, that's what we're going to work on, things we've done poorly just like last week, and hopefully correct it.
Mike, your substitution patterns with the running backs, was it just a matter of when Alfred needed a breath, get Roy in there? They seemed to think that was the case yesterday, but did you guys go in with a certain kind of game plan and figure out which guy was going to do which opportunities, or is it that simple?
I kind of said this quickly after the game. We run our kind of like hurry-up offense. We call it a turbo offense, where we're not huddling all the time. Players are tired, and both we're tired and they're tired. And what happens sometimes, you're going to give your running back a break because he's carrying the ball quite a bit in those scenarios. And that's a great opportunity to switch guys in there and put a fresh back in there. And when the defense is getting tired, you got a fresh running back, and that was part of our game plan.
He's week 8 to get adjusted to the offense. It's week 6 here, and we see Jordan Reed now becoming a threat on this offense. We know about Pierre Grosson, but now teams are going to have to prepare for Jordan Reed. How much do you think that Jordan Reed can affect this offense and improve them and be a threat in the next coming weeks?
Well, I've been saying that, for the last 4 weeks. You've been asking me about Jordan Reed, and I said that's why, he's going to be an excellent football player. Hopefully he can stay healthy, but he's got the intangibles that you look for. So we get a chance to evaluate guys day by day, and Jordan's been pretty impressive in practice, and that's why he's got the opportunity to play in games. So we really don't know, each day or each week, who our starters are going to be. Sometimes, based on how they practice, especially with the younger players, they earn themselves a right to start on Sunday, and that's what he's done, through practice. So you get a guy like Jordan, he gets a chance to step up, and how does he play during the game? Targeted 9 times, 9 catches, that's not too bad, yeah.
After the game yesterday, Robert indicated that on the touchdown pass to Aldrick Robinson that he kind of went off script a little bit. Mm-hmm. Just kind of said he had a thought, was his quote. Can you shed any light on what he did on that play, and maybe different from the way it was drawn up?
Well, it all depends on who he sees as the number 1 receiver. We got a couple of receivers on that play, and he gave the deep guy an opportunity to make a play. I thought there was collision at the 5-yard line. I thought it was going to be pass interference with the safety coming over the top, and it wasn't, so I thought Aldrick made a heck of a play. That quarterback's got to feel, when he's got a chance to make that play, and Robert had a feeling there, and fortunately we came up with the play.
Like, what do you see Fred Davis's role at this point? Does his offense, can it incorporate both Fred and Jordan Reed, or is it kind of a either or, one or the other?
We've been talking about this, since the start. We've had 4 guys up. Fred's been down because he's been hurt in the past, and Now it's based on who practices the best, just like we talk about Jordan getting the opportunity to play a lot more because of what he's done during the week. Sometimes when a guy gets hurt, or sometimes, and then the guy gets an opportunity to play, he takes advantage of it. Or another scenario is we dressed three tight ends out this week, and one of the reasons why we did is we felt like we had to bring a guy like Robinson up so he can help us on special teams, and he could have saved us the game with the play that he made on that last kickoff return with the throwback at the end of the game. So you're always going to try to do what's best for your football team that week, and that's what we try to do.
You had some success out of the hurry up again yesterday, the no huddle. What's is it just a matter of Robert getting more comfortable in it? I think he averaged like 11.5 yards per play out of it.
You got your stats down, don't you? That's pretty good. If it's that good, we're going to use it some more. No, we look at all those things, and our football team's in pretty good shape. We got a fast and quick football team, and it helps us when we do kind of change the tempo of the game, and we might try to tire out the defense, or we may call plays at the line of scrimmage. Just because you hurry up to the line of scrimmage doesn't always make it a hurry-up offense. A lot of people will huddle on the line of scrimmage, and they take their time and call a lot of audibles and check defenses out. Other teams will try to go a little bit quicker. And, we'll change it up there, but it is a high-tempo offense for us, and we do it to keep defenses a little bit off balance, and fortunately it's worked.
Jordan played most of the game or a lot of the game with the bruised hip. Is he okay today? Any doubt that he would not be available this week?
Yeah, it's he had a hip pointer. Felt better during the game. He got a shot. He felt, I'm sure he's a little bit sore today, but he should be ready to go next week.
Now that you've had close to your 24 hours to savor the Chicago win, how much thought have you given to playing this game in Denver, and what do you think the emotions of that will be like for you?
Well, first thing you do is preparing for the game, and after you grade this film and you look at everything, you talk with the coaches, and now that's what we do today. That's what we've been doing the last couple hours. Looking at Denver and kind of getting ready, putting a game plan, ready for that football team, and we all know how talented they are. Of course, they're going to be hungry after coming off of a loss. We're going to get their best shot, so we're looking forward to it ourselves.
They're a little bit of a different football team than normal for you, though obviously. Mark's alluding to the fact that you were there for a little while.
I think anytime you're at a place for 21 years, that's quite a long time. I think, and in football years that doesn't happen very often. So, yeah, it's been where we raise our kids. It's head coach here for 14 years, assistant for 7. We got a lot of great friends there. You look forward to that type of rivalry. Obviously, you always want to play your best, and looking forward to playing there.
Will you spend any time thinking about the reaction of the crowd or anything like that for you?
I don't think you really do. I think it'll be very positive.